You heard it here first. Coin is going to zero.
Great afternoon, everyone, and welcome with Trading with OC. Once again, we meet in here. Welcome, everyone, and let me see you guys in the chat. Let's go. Furniture guy, how's it going? Let's get it. Thank you, my friend. Really appreciate you. So let's go to the charts because we might have a possible re-entry. Yes, yesterday we have a stopped out. Well, today in the morning we have a stopped out on Bitcoin. It's part of the game. We're looking for that little continuation, but we are right now into people because this point it is either a continuation to the downside or a spring continuation, and we need to have one more piece of data to actually get it done. Most likely I'm gonna go with another half of a position in here, testing the waters, and if we have a bearish continuation, I'm gonna head switch it as soon as possible. All right, so this is gonna be one of those advanced trading skills that you may want to not miss. So let's go to the charts and let's get it. Hey Gary, how's it going, brother? Welcome. All right, looking at Bitcoin, we have a bearish continuation in here. I was expecting, remember, if you recall this trend line, I was expecting a bounce after or above this area to have a triangular pattern in here. What happened is that we went long here on the 50% mark, and right there with a secondary entry, so one full entry with a stop loss. We got stopped out almost immediately at platinum pocket. It went very back down or far back in here, but we created an absorption zone, right? A pin bar in here, right? At the very bottom, that is really encouraging, right? When we have that kind of pin bars, we can be expecting a little bit of a movement to the upside. All right, so just like in this case, let me just get rid of all of that that is in the middle, all of that spaghetti getting in the way, right? Let's go take a look at a couple of other examples of what I'm seeing right now. And we'll see that when we start having that kind of like pin bars, and let me find one. There we go, like a pin bar, we start seeing that reversal, a pin bar, reversal, pin bar range, pin bar, reversal. So this is an inverted Bart Simpson, right? Pin bar, and I think this is more like what we're looking at, right? Look at that pin bar and that reversal, especially when the pin bar, and this is not exactly the case, but when the pin bar becomes like a hammer there. All right, so again, look at that pin bar reversal, right? It's not a complete like full trend reversal that we're gonna be making a cycle high or anything like that, but it gives us that opportunity to increase our profit margin. All right, so right here, let's zoom in here because this is looking very similar to an area that we had in here previously before. So let's go to the 4 hours, right? This is where we're standing, basically having a continuation lower. All right, let's go now to the 15 minutes. And on the 15 minutes today in the morning, we were talking with Alex. Oh, right, looking at the known bottom, right, the next upcoming high, and then looking for these levels. Alex had this Fibonacci set up, and that really applied or what I had before, right? So our first entry was in here on the quantum reactor, coming back up. That would have been our taking profit. I did not take profits, but it went back down. Golden pocket secondary entry, stopped out in here. So we got one hit down in there, right? So what is it up now? Let me expand this just for a little. And at this point, I believe that you are seeing what I'm seeing, right? Let me bring Wyckoff to the table really quickly here. And I know you guys might be sick and tired of seeing this little thing. All right, it's where we come down. We have a little range, V-shaped recovery, 7%, 70% chances of ranging. We range and we got the spring. When we have the spring, and let me copy this image because I think this has to do a lot with what we're going to be doing today. There it is. Our entry after the spring, it needs to be either on this low right there, right, or in this low right here, right after the acceptance back inside the range. So let's get started there with the range, right? So far, this trend not completely failed because look at that breakout, big body candle. So it was a resistance, and then now it became a a support, and then right now a resistance, right? I mean, we can see that basically the 50% was much more precise, and well, the quantum reactor was absolutely there, right? But let's just get rid of this for a minute, all right? And let's go and take a look at a ranging tool. One of my favorite ranging tools is this one right here. Let's go for it. There it is. That's our range. We have the little ranging here, all right? We have the V-shaped recovery. We have high, lower than the previous range that give us 70% chances of ranging. We are ranging, having the spring below the other lows, all right? And let's just also, just for good measure, throw a trend line on this line thing here, right? I'm going to move it slightly above, something along this line. So we are catching this one, going through this one, and going through this other one, all right? And I'm going to lock this one down, all right? And, well, at this other point, we also could be looking, for example, between these highs. So a going down range or a descending range, right? So this usually tends to break to the upside. That's also encouraging, but let's not get there yet, just yet. We have the range, all right? And if we are much more strict in putting things more difficult to it, this would have been the ranging here, all right? So let's actually go for this with a fake out, all right? So what we got in here, breakout for the very first re-entry right there. Secondary re-entry right here. We are above the zero line. We are pretty negative. That's the only counterpoint, all right? And right here is where we're looking to re-enter. So, I mean, this also looks awfully similar to something else, which is your breakout retest, right? It's not about your breakout on the quantum reactor. It's about your retest. Off you go, right? Ranging incoming continuation for a lower low. You will be correct, but right now we don't have this range for a further continuation, right? So this is the key, guys. This is the key right here. So we either bounce off the zero line, and if we do, most likely we are gonna get something like that and hit the top of the range based on the Wyckoff scenario. So did I delete that thing? Yeah, I think so. All right, whatever. Based on the Wyckoff scenario, and we are right here on this little entry, right? Or we, instead of bouncing, we break down, we make a little bit of a fake out, and then we drop, right? We something like let me see, something like this, all right? So we break down, we make a little bit of a fake out, and then we go, right? Basically going much lower. So in that case, most likely that little retracement might create a little bit of a ranging here, and that's going to be your signal to head switch. So far, all right, so far, and this is a kamikaze trade, remember, all right? So far, we are looking for the flip of the ribbon. If we don't have the flip of the ribbon, well, then I don't think that we have an entry. Nonetheless, I am going to be risking it for the biscuit, all right? I'm going to be going in with half of a position, 10x, and you know what? Not even a half of a position. I'm going to be going for a quarter of a position. I'm not even that confident on this entry, and I'm front running the signal, all right? I'm front running the signal. The long position, I'm going to be aiming, man, we're pretty close, somewhere around here, all right? My stop loss is going to be right below the platinum pocket, right there, and that's going to be it. If this thing starts ranging and I start making it back through here, this right here is going to be my shorting signal, and I'm definitely going to be shorting this thing, all right, head switching. So be extremely careful in this one, all right? I'm going to be taking it, all right? But you need to be extremely careful, especially now that we had one full stop loss, all right? So let me see. We have a little bit more in the chat. Let's get more activity in the chat. We have JR. How's it going, JR? Of course. Gary in the house. How's it going, brother? JR, please send me your link so I can redirect to you, my friend. That'll be fantastic. We also have Tutop in the house. Welcome, Tutop. We also have Olga Ivanova. Hell, what's up? Welcome. Great to have you. Hello. Good evening, OC. Good evening to you. What's the probability of the spring? The probability of the spring? I don't know. Okay. I actually don't know the answer for that. That's a pretty straightforward question. For the spring to happen, because I've never seen it that way that you mentioned. Let me go over that. That's a perspective thing, but that has some truth to it. I'm gonna get to it, but the answer to you is I don't know. I haven't actually run math or haven't asked that question to myself. That's a pretty interesting question. Who else we got in here? We have Crypto Billy. What's up, brother? Welcome. Great to have you, my friend. Hey, welcome. And of course, a shout out to Furniture Guy, short on XRP currently. Let's get it. We're also gonna be taking a look at XRP. All right, so here's the thing, Gary. When I'm looking at, because let me see if I can find it. All right, so I'm gonna go for, let me actually just do this. Let me copy his last name really quickly, and right here, just paste it, and I'm gonna go for come on, all Wyckoff charts. All right, let's go to image, and let's bring this here. All right, guys, it's not only 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is just scratching the level of this guy. All right. So usually when you're looking at a bottom, you start looking at these bottoming patterns to the left, all right? And then when you start looking at top, you start looking at these three most likely scenarios of Wyckoff, right? But Wyckoff has like a, I don't know, like 20 charts or something like that, like 10 and 10. And someone like, dude, like, what are you smoking, man? You're just changing a little itty bitty tiny part of this. So, I mean, but yeah, so the point is, like, for example, here we go, phase C, right? This is a phase C with no spring, all right, with no spring. All right, so this one right here, okay, this one right here is being taught with the spring because this is the most likely scenario to happen, to play it out. I think it has like a 5 or 10% greater than the other ones, right? The no spring, the flat pauses. Let me show you one of those. Let me see if they have it here. No, they don't, but they absolutely have it right. Come on. Where is it? Yeah, I just went through it. This one right here. Where is it? Oh, it's not even here, man. All right, but whatever. We have another with no spring, right? So out of all of those, the one with the springs, right? The two versions, because I mean, tell me the difference between this one and this one. And it's a direction where we're going from, right? But if we just ignore this part, because I like to ignore this part, it's almost exactly the same thing, right? Nonetheless, the one with the spring is slightly more playable, or it happens a little bit more than the rest of them. But like saying, what is the chances for the spring to happen or to play it out? I have no idea, because that's a different calculation. That will be an ecosystem based on either inside the Wyckoff ecosystem, which the answer would be a 5% greater than the other ones, right? So when we talk, because I've run a couple of numbers talking about the 70% chances of ranging, right? When that means 70% chances of having a Wyckoff whatever, right? Wyckoff whatever. So if we take into consideration that extra 5 to 2%, 2 to 5%, I could be telling you if, because that's another math point, right? If we have the little range, the V-shaped recovery, and the high lower than the range, we have, instead of a 70% chances of ranging, I would say we have a I don't know, man, 75% chances of having the spring, because that point actually would be not a lie, but not accurate at its core, because these three patterns give you 70% chances of any Wyckoff. And just thinking that the spring happens 5% more than any other Wyckoff, it's either baked in, which I have not yet discriminated that point of data, right? Or it hadn't been added and it's at 75%. So, and there's another perspective, which is your question. Hey, if we get a spring, how possible is it for this entry to play it out, right? And in that case, that is a 5% extra. So 70% chances, because we have the 70% chances of this happen, right? Or 75% chances for this happen if this is a closed loop. So yeah, depending on the point, the perspective, it's either I don't know or a 75%. Man, you really got my gears turning there, man. Appreciate you. Are we going long? Yes, we're going long with a lot of risk. Because we ain't got no... Oh, man. Wait. We have no just yet have the confirmation. Confirmation for your long is going to be this. Right? Confirmation for your short is going to be this. Right there. Right, so this is like a non-point of data, but since it has respected everything else, like in conjunction, this is a strong point of data for going long. But if you isolate this part in here and you ignore the rest, you have a breakout retest, flat pause of bearish continuation. But for this to be a flat pause, you need a range. And let me ask you, is this a range, or because this is a tricky question, or is this part of the trend because it haven't broken the trend line? So the actual answer, I know, you can answer any at any and you will be correct, all right? But the answer is that we are in a transition between those two. Let me show you what a transition looks like, right? Like when you're going bullish to bearish. Yeah, I would say it's something like this, all right? So let me just get rid of that. That was a fantastic short that we took, all right? But let's just get rid of it. And when we're going down, right, when you have your trend line up, is this last part a range, right? Or is it trending? And that's as you don't know until you start breaking through and making more candles, right? Because right here, like this is the amount of data that we have. That looks like both. And it's both because it's the transition zone, right? So yeah, right now we are on a micro transition zone. That's what it makes it so hard in this point. And dude, we're bouncing now. Come on, too much blah, blah, blah. And I did not take the long. All right, so let's wait for this kind of retracement, and I'm going to be opening a long. Today, I do have my broker open, and I'm going to be letting you know exactly when to enter. Another important piece of information is that we have a new low, all right, which is a spring. This is undoubtedly a spring. But that we have a spring doesn't mean that we're going to hit the top, although it's extremely possible, right? Why? Because we not only have the spring, we have acceptance back into the range, and we have this area. Again, if we take into consideration that this is a Wyckoff, this is a clear entry, like right away, right? Not there, a little bit below. But if we ignore the rest and we only analyze this box, this could be, or this looks like a flat positive bearish continuation. Therefore, there can be those two options. When is it going to be our trigger? Flip of the ribbon or ranging here like the fake out, all right? Be ready. Holy shit, and this thing is just keep going up, and this is giving me FOMO. Be ready to change your, you know what? Let's go for it. Guys, FOMO. Let's do another one here. I want to just to finish this up. All right, so the point is that we have a new point of data, which is this low. That means we're bouncing now from the golden pocket. Right, stronger support. Bouncing off the golden pocket doesn't mean right it all the way to the top. But it does mean at least hitting the confluence point, which is the 32%, 33% area, right? 38, 32, 33% area. So yeah, I mean, look at that area here. That's going to be our TP number 1, all right? And if we get this, well, I would say to hold it. Move your stop to entry and hold it, right? Remember, if we do this, get the F out of that long and head switch it, because that is becoming a flat positive bearish continuation. There's one more data set that I want to bring up, which is the reversals. Oh, I got the reversals. Let me see. Oh yeah, I have the reversals. All right, so yeah, no reversals in here so far. So that doesn't seem to be a flat positive bearish continuation, but still we need to keep our eyes open. All right. So let me go for that long. Let me actually set it up on my broker. I'm doing BTC USDT 15 minutes bluffing. All right, just so you guys know. So let me read you first in here, because I see I'm dropping below here. Hey, we have Kelly in the house. How is it going, Kelly? How is it going? Great to have you. Gotta find a safe way to feed those demons. Oh yeah, absolutely. Needed DJ Act 2 open. Have you been keeping track on the Clary Act? Still, they don't. I mean, banks are pushing freakishly long. Okay, Vanova, 77,107 is the TP BTC. Yeah, let me give you. Yeah, somewhere a little bit below. Let's go for the previous high, 77,883. So right here. And for entry, I'm looking at 75,320. I believe I'm gonna be taking it right away. And it's just, dude, it's not a good, still not a good area, because we don't have the flip of the ribbon. We don't have confirmation, and the best area of entry is gone, right? The best area of entry, that's what I wanted to move faster, was right there when we were at the beginning of the class. So, all right, quarter of a position, guys. All right, we are not risking too much in this one. Extremely careful. Why not? Let's take it 1/4. All right, kamikaze. And how do we do it like that? Kamikaze trade. All right, kamikaze long. So you've been warned. All right, tight stop loss. All right. So I'm gonna select 10, going 75,830. And I'm gonna add a quarter of a position. Doing this with you. 1 second. Oh, come on. All right, perfect. I'm doing long 10x. All right. And let's send it. It's not in. This is not a. This is a limit order. This is not a market order. All right. Let's send it. All right. Send. Confirm. And right now my entry, it's at 75,830. So what I'm gonna do right now is just slightly moving upwards right below the price action. And right now my entry, it's at 75,000. Let me just push it a little bit lower. I think we can get it. 75,000 895. All right, so let's go for that. Entry price 75,000. Come on, man. It's just keep going upwards. This shit. 75,895. Dude, it's gonna leave us. It's keep pushing. It's not the same here that I have it here. All right, so let me just show you really quickly. Because right here, it's on Bitstamp, what you're seeing right now, all right? I'm snipping this thing so you see how far away one looks from the other one. So we haven't entered just yet, all right? Let me copy, let me paste it. That's how it looks for me, all right? This is my broker, this is my entry. Look at that, 75,895.6. Right? The same thing in here. 895. Right, and let's push this out of the way. But you get the point, right? 75,895, 75,895.6. Wait, I don't think that I can do 0.6 in here. Yeah, I can't, but whatever. Right, and this one looks higher. Well, in here, the damn thing keeps pushing upwards. All right, so let's not panic. Best case entry scenario is gone, so I'm gonna adjust my entry here just to reflect how it looks on the actual broker. So it's somewhere around here. Okay, and that's it. So again, oh, here he comes, coming back down. All right, if it's going down, let me move it just slightly bit below, New entry point 75,815. I'm trying to catch that little bitty tiny retracement, all right? I shouldn't, but come on, this thing. FOMO entry. Let's go. Let's get it. All right. So that's basically it. All right, new entry point 75,830. That's it. I'm not going to be touching that. It's slightly below. It's actually right there. Right there. All right, so this is how it looks right now on my end. Okay, and let's see if we can get it. If we can get this itty bitty tiny retracement to the body of that, I mean this itty bitty tiny retracement to the body of this candle, I think that will be still a good entry. All right, still within the vicinity of acceptable entries. So we'll see. It seems like we are looking strong with that flip of the ribbon right here. All right. It seems like we are. This thing really wants to go downwards, but it's being stopped. All right. This is getting too excited. Let's just move out of the way here and let's just take a look at a couple of other stuff. Let's go to XRP. Damn, this thing keep pushing upwards, bro. Let's go to XRP because it's giving me anxiety. So we have a lot of things. We were on the no trading zone here. Why? Because we were entangled with both dynamic reactor and quantum reactor. All right, the thing is pushing. Dude, that's why I don't like to have my broker open throughout the class, because I cannot think and teach at the same time. But whatever. Well, we can. Why not? So no trading box, all right, and we have the V-shaped recovery back at the top. That was a freakishly amazing movement. We are below the zero line in here. It seems like it is possible that we get a rejection out of this zone for a continuation. So right now, shorting it, like right now, I don't think that would be a great idea. If you're ready to a short, remember to tighten your stop loss. Stop loss should be somewhere around here, around 1.61. But remember, things change in between brokers. Right now, I'm charting it on Binance, all right? And that is pretty different if you're doing bluffing. It has just a little bit of a different, a little bit of a different price action, all right? So remember that. So not looking that bad, not looking that great. Looking for that little bounce to the upside. That's why I also think Bitcoin is going up, bounce up out of the big triangular pattern here that we have. And if we get a lower high, like in this case, that's going to be our short entry. So let's mark that short entry with XRP. I'm not gonna be taking it until I have a flip and then a flip. This thing like this. All right. If I get that, look at what happens. All right. If I get that, that's what I'm looking for right there for that short. All right. But in the meantime, I'm skipping that. All right. So let's go take a look at Olga. XRP was created for shorting. Absolutely. Let's go. Let's get it. Oh, man. You know what? Bitcoin long trade's gone. Dude, it's gone, it's gone, it's gone. Yeah, it's gone, it's riding right now. Let's go check that out. Oh, man. Sometimes I really regret talking too much. Oh, it's gone, baby. All right, it's gone. The damn thing is gone. Because if, remember, if this thing's ranges, I don't want to be in, right? So it's gone at this moment. It's gone. What is our next entry? Possibly we will not have one, or possibly, well, yes, we are absolutely gonna have one, but the next entry is gonna be at the rejection of this key level for a continuation. Remember, our major target is gonna be all the way up there, but so far it's time to wait. Man, come on, I'm really pissed at this shit. Oh, brother. All right, BTC pushing. Yes, it's pushing. It is pushing. No entry. It did not retrace to the point that I was expecting. Well, it is what it is. I talked too much at the beginning of the class. We missed the freaking entry right there. So, yeah, that confirms or almost confirms it is a spring. If we break above the 50% line, that's golden. If you took that long, great. Hopefully you did it. You did it. If you did it, well, welcome to the team. Oh, man. Oh, man. We'll see. All right. Oh, boy. I really hate that thing. All right, if we bounce off the 50% line, that was going to be most likely range, so we can still enter for a short. All right, so just so you know, let me just remove, I'm removing that entry. No entry anymore. Oh god. And I'm gonna be just leaving this for reference. All right, so let's push it as for reference. Missed entry. All right, so let's go have some fun. Let's see if we got what else we got on the crypto bubbles today. Oh shit. Hey, Lost in Crypto, how's it going, bro? Man, Dutchy, how's it going, brother? Welcome. Great to have you guys. All right, so we have Jupiter, we have XAU. Oh, gold. Oh, why not? Let's go take a look at gold. Well, it's not gold, SQT, but let's actually remind me gold. But let's go take a look at Goldie here. And we are almost back at where we were supposed to. Something important, we're on the flat pause, but in this case, a bullish continuation. This is freaking awesome. So let's go to the 4 hours so we keep track on where we left out. Here it goes. Remember the worst case scenario would be, worst case scenario would be rejecting off the zero line. We don't have it just now. We're pushing throughout the last resistance. This was a support, so now it becomes a resistance. All right, we're pushing through that resistance. Seems like we're gonna be doing fantastic. Let's invert the scale. All right, and this one right here, remember, this looks like a bullish, right, pennant. So this is a good area to actually go for a short. Remember, I wouldn't do it just now because we're pushing forward. If we do have this is going to be our next entry for a long. Remember, this is inverted. Let's invert it back down. All right, there we go. So if we get this retracement, that's what I'm expecting. We can get that re-entry. Remember, we can also range in this area. And I'm getting sick. I don't know about you, but I'm getting sick of this green color. It's kind of like everywhere. Let me just change it. Back to white. Here it is. Perfect. Back to white. Yes. Let's remove it. Let's get in here. Let's also remove it. And, well, seems like Bitcoin is going to keep going downward. Let me go over here. I'm going to be adding an alert right down there for a possible next re-entry. It's not my entry point, all right? At 4,886, that's the alert for the re-entry. The re-entry needs to be on dynamic reactor. We'll see if we can match it. And, yeah, why not? Let's go take a look at a couple of meme coins we have. Can we trade this? World Liberty Financial. That's not a meme coin. But why not? Let's take a look at that one. I was looking for Weave, but I just don't see it. I saw it earlier today. I don't longer see it. I don't know if I'm just blind or what. But WLFI. WLFI. Here it goes. Let's add it. Let's go for it. All right, perfect. So far we have that bullish push. This is not a spring. All right, this could be looking like one of those. This is a range. Could it be a Wyckoff range? Could be. Absolutely. Oh, you know what? It is a spring. Holy shit, it is a spring. All right, scratch that thing. It is a spring. At this moment, all right, breakout. Perfect. If we can hold this one here, we're gonna be going for the next reentry right there, just like in Bitcoin, right? Let's go over Bitcoin once again so we can keep track on the same scenario. Right now on, what is it? WLFI, we are right here. We're waiting for the absolute acceptance back in, and then this little low. All right. So far, this is the itty bitty tiny acceptance, right? Going to dynamic reactor. Let's see if we have any order blocks or anything in the meantime, or right above it. Yes, of course we do, right? So we're looking for this continuation upwards, coming back down our entry, and then off we go. And target is gonna be right there in the top of the range, which is right here. But remember, bear market, so don't really trust the top of the range. All right. So let me just get rid of this in here, and let's start throwing a couple of alerts. The very first alert is gonna be right here at the top, so I know when we're topping, and then looking not for a short, but for the retracement, and then long, and then finally another one right there. Just your first call out for the possible profits, and second for a possible short continuation. Oh man, Bitcoin pumping, baby. All right, trying to break the 50% line. That's fantastic. Well, it seems like it did it. All right, so let's take a look at, have you already talked about XRP? Yes, talked about XRP, pushing onwards. There we go, looking for that short. Let's talk about Solana. Solana higher low or double bottom. That's pretty freaking good, all right? The only thing that we need, we already have the flip of the ribbon, all right? So is this a long? Let me bring this up on the... Let me bring up a couple of other stuff in here. And I want to move out of the 15 minutes because we've been stuck in there. Loud order blocking here. Breakout. Perfect. Are we going to have a breakout retest? Probably not. We're still below that zero line. We could be going... Look at that bright spot. We could be going for something like that. Right? And breaking through on the 15 minutes. It's going to be way too late. So... I don't know. Should we be risking it? I would actually go for a yes. All right. Just because we did not took Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin is retracing. Let's wait for Bitcoin to retrace. Let's go to a lower time frame, 5 minutes. We have a little bit more candles. Let's take a look at our oscillator here, pushing through. Possible flip of the ribbon. Let's wait for the retracement. I'm going to add a retracement line in here, and I'm going to be looking for retracement continuation. All right. But yeah, so far, so good. On the 5 minutes, dude, I'm pushing lower. Let's also take a look at the 4 hours. Because 4 hours, it has already 3 supports in here. Not bad, huh? Not bad on the loud order block. high order block. There we go. Not bad. If we're looking for a possible entry, this is it. Actually, to be honest. All right, so let's wait for that little retracement in the 5 minutes. And if we get it, let's risk it. I'm gonna be looking for that sweep of the low. I mean, flip of the ribbon right down here. And again, quarter of a position. All right, quarter of a position. We are in the bear market, guys. We better prepare for shorts and not longs. We're just trying to maximize that long opportunity. Remember, everybody wants to have a long. Everybody's looking. It's coming from longs making money, right? And not short making money. So people is still short circuit. So we might have big pumps and then bigger drops. All right. So let's put it here. Kamikaze or whatever, however it is long. All right. That is a quarter of an entry. All right. Perfect. Yeah, we're gonna be pushing through on Bitcoin. Seems like you're also looking at what was it? SEC. Perfect. I think also is gonna be pushing through. All right, so let's leave it till now. We already have one missed entry. We're looking for Solana, WLFI. Why not? Seems like we have a spring. Seems like high risk but also high reward. We're looking for let me actually go for that. So I'm doing 10x at this moment. So 20 at a 10x. Not bad, is it? Not bad. 200%. That will be high risk, high reward. Looking for a good setup in here. Remember, we're looking for that movement. I got Solana at 98. Let's go. Nice. 98 flat. That's freaking awesome. So almost basically at the very bottom. Look at that. All right, somewhere around here. Love it. Love it. All right, so let's leave it as is right now. Let's not overtrade at this moment. Remember, we are on a transition zone for the bear market, and we expect violent drops. All right. Also, they want to lure you into long, guys. They want to lure you into longs. Be careful. Be extremely careful. All right. So other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate you coming by. Really appreciate you guys. You guys always make my day. And as always, see you guys tomorrow. And stay safe. Use your stop loss. All right.
You heard it here first. Bitcoin is going to zero.
Zero.